Welcome to Northwynd 2, Episode 18. In this episode, I'm going to be doing the end of the road in the high road in Eveningstar, and I am level 18. And I am damn near level 20. Already rank 85, or 95. So, I really haven't even touched 19s, and, just with the second lifer, with the 18s that I did, it just took me almost to heroic cap. So, let's start with the quests. Did all the high road except for end of the road, which I'm about to do, and did that with a group. And I also did all the quests in Inspired Quarter, at least the level 18s, including Shipwreck Spy. And I also did those with a group. In fact, since we were there, we did Eye of the Titan as well. So that's the one level 19 that I've done. On the enhancement side, I'm fully invested in Nature's Protector. Won't be spending any more points there. 17's as far as I'll go. And I'm starting to spend points over here in the human tree. And I want to work up and get all this healing amplification. I want to get greater heroism. And I'm actually making a change to my build post. Looking at the investment that I had over here, 4 points to get basically from 4 points in Intimidate. Actually, yeah. 4, 5, 6, actually 6 points. Yeah, to get 4 points in Intimidate, basically, it's just not worth it. You can get some extra Intimidate here for just 3 points. You can get 3 points of Intimidate instead of trying to go up here and spending an extra 3 just to essentially get 1 more, and that's what that was about. So I've decided to spend the extra points here, and don't count me out. This is a nice little defensive enhancement. It says your unconscious range extends by 20 hit points, and you gain 10 physical resistance rating when you are under 50% health. So it's, if I'm getting beat up pretty bad, that's a nice little boost. Like I did in the Northwynd 1 series, if you feel like you're mana starved, if you're doing a first life, or if you're newer, you can always go with these improved meta magic feats to make, maximize empower a little more cost effective for you if it makes more sense. And if you're not as interested in doing as much as like the front line stuff as I'm doing, you don't have to go as far in Nature's Protector as I have, but I do highly recommend, even if you're doing more of a traditional caster, to go with at least 11 points to get that heavy armor proficiency and all those goodies that go along with it, like I talked about before. So we've got 8 Reaper points, and this is how they're spent. I was thinking about maybe backing off a few and maybe picking up like a point of wisdom and a DC here, and if I combine that point of wisdom and pick up the extra point of wisdom here with human greater adaptability, that could be 2 higher in my DCs, but I'd have to lose Reaper defense to get all of that. So I just decided to keep it here now. I really want to be highly defensive. I don't really feel like my DCs are a problem at this point, but that is an option. And certainly if I had more Reaper points, I definitely want to get all of this stuff. Pretty much don't need the spell penetration, but pretty much everything else. But I only have 8 Reaper points right now, so because it's a newer toon, younger toon, I really want to go with the high defenses to help keep me alive in Reaper mode. And I do encourage everybody, especially if you're newer to Reaper mode, invest in the Grim Barricade tree first. If there's some low-hanging fruit over here that you really want to get, like maybe some power boost or something, but getting that extra survivability that's available in the Grim Barricade tree will go a long ways to keep you alive when you're new to Reaper mode. And then you'll build up more points, and you'll be able to spend the others wherever you want. Alright, we'll take a look at the wolf next. I don't even have the wolf out. I haven't been using the wolf. So it's somewhere around, mid-teens, I guess, that it just like the wolf just wasn't, I'm wanting to step it up to R2s and 3s, and did some higher stuff in a group, and just wasn't, the wolf is not keeping up. So I'm not planning on having the wolf out for this episode, but just showing you that I do have the same armor as I showed last time, and the same level 16 improved vorpal collar. On the enhancement side, I think I picked up Hounding Yip. I don't think I need to load that up, but I'm going to anyways. Up to Wolfpack Bite 4, Opportunistic Bite 3. Alright, Wolf's going away. On the spell side, I have an extra 9th level spell now. Oh, I also want to mention that I did pick up the Storm of Vengeance SLA, so the 5th core here. That's real nice. Sadly, it has a 2-minute cooldown. The regular version of the spell has a 1-minute cooldown, so having both the SLA and the regular version helps to mitigate those long cooldowns. Really wish they had reduced the cooldown of both of those. It just, like I said before, it's a nice spell, but is in no way so nice that it warrants a 1 and 2-minute cooldown. That seems pretty ridiculous to me. I mean, I can't see any reason why Storm of Vengeance shouldn't be, the regular spell shouldn't be, like a 10-second cooldown, and the SLA maybe 30 seconds or something. I don't know. I'm not sure why it's so long, but in any event, that's what it is. So, I think I had the double shot of Sunburst before. I had, the SLA and then the regular version as well. I like to throw both of those to blind mobs. It really helps with crowd control. And I have all the metas turned off for the regular version just to save mana, because I'm really just going for the blinding effect, although I do have Quicken on because I don't want that to fail if I'm getting hit. Very easy to fail spells in Reaper mode because you're taking some big hits. Earthquake DC is 42. I think that's probably good enough for upper level heroics. Mass Regenerate and Snow Slide. I really like to use Snow Slide. You have to switch to Winterwolf form to use that, but I love to use it to get around quickly, or it's also really nice if you ever get trapped in a group and you need to get out, you can switch to Winterwolf form really quick and just Snow Slide right out of it. Snow Slide does actually move through mobs. It's considered an attack, and it can freeze mobs, but that's not what I'm going for. It's either fast movement or to bust out of being trapped is what I like to use it for. I also have Freezing Spray. I'm not sure if I had that last time, but I can hit a single target with that and make that mob 25% more vulnerable to cold. And that lasts 60 seconds. We'll look at the gear. Still got the big spell points on the Vibrant Purple Ironstone. Torque is the same, as is the Pansophic Circlet. Got Wisdom 8, Insightful Evocation Focus 2 on the goggles. Scales of the Exile is the same. Braces of Wind, level 15 version. Those will stay the same until I get the epic ones at level 20. This is a new item. It's the same as before, only I recrafted it for level 18. And so I actually had to disjunct it and then recraft it. Or, if I could have just set, if I was doing multiple lives and I wanted to have multiple tiers set aside, so when I'm reincarnating, in fact, that's what you should do. When you're reincarnating, you have your level 10 gear and then your level 15 gear and your level 20 gear, or whatever levels that you want to have those set aside for, whatever makes sense for you. There isn't any one right answer. There are lots of considerations, and I talk about some of those considerations in my advanced guide to crafting. So Sheltering 22, Constitution 9. Would have loved to put something in the extra slot, in the Cana slot, but I don't have high enough crafting levels. It's got to slot it up with Topaz Evocation. So I did have to work on raising my crafting levels. That's something I worked on since last time. I also had to farm out some collectibles for this. So I want to show you that I was able to get my crafting levels up to 216. So I was just above 100 when I started this series, and that getting a little over 100 levels was just from deconstructing junk during my first life. I didn't spend any time trying to increase my levels. I got, 100 just, deconstructing my junk. And then using the method that I show in the advanced guide to Canic crafting, basically, hitting that the lowest percentage minimum level shard that I can, even if it's just like 1, 2, or 3%. Sticking a booster in there, I was able to get some free boosters using alts to do the little tutorial, and using, I think I went through about 15,000 Canith essences to go from like low 100s to 216. So that was great. If I had more shards, I would have went further, or more essences, I would have went further, but that's all I had. So I left myself, I think, with a couple thousand, and I didn't want to try to push any further because there wasn't anything close enough to that. I'd need to get up to like 250-ish before I could start crafting, the next range of stuff that I would want. So that's as far as it's going to go on the crafting side. I really made a mistake of, early on in this series, there was a big crafting bonus weekend, and I should have taken advantage of that moment. Had I done that, I could have probably gotten to 250. I also did this with stuff that was available for free. So if I was more serious about this toon, I would have wanted to get like a 100% Canith crafting XP pot out of the store and some 35% boosters. Instead, I was working with the stuff that I could get free out of the tutorial in the House K crafting hall, which was a 75% boost at crafting XP and then 25% boosters. So if I was using 135s that I got from the store, I could have made my essences go further. But in this series, I didn't want to use any store purchased items other than stuff that I already had, like the stuff that I got for buying, old expansions that just come with every one of the toons that I make now. So I was pretty happy to get my levels up there and be able to craft a level 18 item. Okay. This is a new item, Treads of the Falling Shadow. This was, I had striding on there before. This says striding 30%, also has ghostly. That's a great 10% mischance, a great layer of defense. Definitely, if as I talk about in my Reaper survival guides, you really want to layer defenses of it, and on every toon have as many layers as reasonably possible. Even if you're not a tank, you want to layer your defenses. You can't rely on any one or two things anymore. So ghostly is a great layer of defense. It's not available on a lot of items, but if you can work it in, that's great. That's a 10% mischance. So yeah, I'll take it. I got 8 more dexterity on there. It's got the mythic boost 1. Just to add a little gravy on top of it all. So that's a nice item for where I am at with this toon. The Blurfinger gloves are the same. I have Sapphire Resistance plus 5 in there. And the Band of Insightful Commands is the same. I do have a Topaz of Deathblock in the Thrumming Spark Cord now. I think I got that off the auction house for a reasonable price. So really glad to have that as a backup, as I've talked before. Even if you have the ability to cast Death Ward, having Death Block as a backup is really nice, because there are going to be times where, you got beholders or casters that are dispelling your Death Ward, or it just runs out and you don't notice, and it's really nice to have that Death Block as a backup, because you don't want to die from a Finger of Death or a Phantasmal Killer if you roll a 1, because, your Death Ward got dispelled or it ran out. So I highly recommend having a Topaz of Death Block if you can fit it in. Cloak of Flames is the same, and that'll be the same until I get the epic version at level 20. Giant's Platter is the same, slotted up with Good Luck plus 1. And the Wild Frost is the same. I don't have anything in the augment slot on that. Okay, feats. What did I take for my level 18 feat? I think I have improved Shield Mastery. And Heighten. That might have been what I took. Yep. So I'm running with Maximize, Empower Healing, Heighten, and Quicken. And that's on for all spells, with just a few exceptions. As I mentioned, the regular version of Sunburst. Earthquake, it's not worth heightening, or not worth maximizing and empowering. The damage just doesn't merit the big extra spell point cost, so I have it quickened and heightened, and that's it. and then the regular version of Produce Flame, all metas are turned off for that. It's great to spam the 6 spell point version, but you start applying metas to that, it starts getting too expensive. So other than those 3 spells, I've got the metas applied to everything. Of course, I don't have it applied to my buffs. Quicken is the only meta that I have that could be applied to them, but I definitely don't want to quicken my buffs. Do that right at the start. Nobody's bothered me. I don't want to spend 10 extra spell points to quicken my buffs. That's a lot of extra mana. That, you know, if my buffs are quickened, that would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 extra mana. That's just wasted. All right, let's go do the quest. Okay, we're gonna try R2. I actually just failed an R3 attempt. I got about halfway to the fort, and a famine reaper got the jump on me. I heard him, but I didn't see him, and as I went to put on my pale lavender, he took me out with a cyclonic blast. And you know, cyclonic blast can be devastating to just about anyone, but you know, I was really worried. Just the number of mobs in this quest. It could be a tough one, and the boss is going to be really tough. So after getting served in the R3 by that Reaper, I think I'm just going to do R2. The Earthquake wasn't hitting as well as I was hoping either, so that's important. Seems to be hitting them all now. Let the AoEs chew them down, and then plink away single targets with the SLAs. And guess what? Archers won't follow me, so I'm just going to run by them. In the interests of efficiency. So spiders here, yes. Charm those, thank you. If you have charms, regular charms, if you can charm these mobs, this quest can be really easy. You can basically just charm and run. If your earthquakes aren't hitting well, you can stack them on top of each other, and each one of them will get a knockdown chance. So that's one way to help compensate for a DEC that isn't flawless. Lots of champions don't like it. Let's go drop a greater creeping cold on that beast mark. Look how slow they're moving. The mantle, it's the sleet storm, they're blinded, they don't know what's going on. And that's the way I like it. Let's go ahead and pop Illyria out. Oh, I could eat my candies. Let's do the Yugo pot too there, because I am gonna need that mana. Sure, I'll be using her before I get to the fort too. Thank you, Illyria. Earthquake, Sleet Storm, Ice Storm, Storm of Vengeance, double shot of Sunburst. When we get to epics, that'll be coupled up with Energy Burst. And this makes for a real nice, you know, if you're in a group environment, then you know, that can, you know, you give everybody freedom of movement so the sleet storms aren't bothering them, and everybody just gangs up on those mobs and clear them out nice and easy. Hopefully the Sunburst will one-shot these rats. It missed him. And the shadows. Yep, some of them. Here is where I got jacked by that Reaper, and there's a Fear Reaper up there. What to do, what to do. Maybe I'll just come this way. I tried to go around to the right last time. I think this way might be more measured. Uh-oh. My shield ran out. Oh, now my mana's running out. Bobble. This R2 runs a little tighter on the resources than I thought it would be. You have to dig into the little ones, the little clickies. But that's what they're there for. Suicide necklace. How did it only hit me for 21? It's supposed to hit for 25, even on in regular questing. It should be more in Reaper. Wonder if it's scaling differently because of some recent adjustments they made to the way damage dice scale in Reaper. Much longer on Illyri, 53 seconds, yeah. We pulling her out again. Okay, that gives me a little bit to work with. Lost soul, thank you. Stunned him with the Assault Ray. Plague Reaper. He's gonna have to be the priority. I want a famine, gotta get that pale lavender on. Okay, Plague's gone. Famine's gone. Come on, Sunburst, help me out. feel pretty good about the mana situation. I'm just gonna make a run for it. Come over here through the water, and that way you don't aggro any of those mobs on the boardwalk. You don't have to fight that garbage. There's a collectible over there, but I don't want to take the chance of aggroing anything. There's some mobs over there too, so do I chance it and do this fight? I'm going to do Illyrian, chance it, and then I'm going to Shrine. I may regret this. Let's redo the shield. Redo that and that. $514 mana. Of course there's 2 Fear Reapers, why wouldn't there be? Soul, yep, I'll take that. Ooh, I still have a little bit of mana. Bet I could get those guys. Come over here and slip on it. Okay. Well, that went well. Let's do a summon, since we can. We'll even give the summon Spring's Resurgence. Because we can. Make them last a little longer. It's a cheap way to make them last a little bit longer. This part can get out of hand quickly. There are a lot of mobs in this fort. Yep, I took him out pretty quick. I'm going to get a shrine before the end fight. But I don't exactly have a ton of mana, so... we don't want to get crazy with the cheese whiz. That's what Beck says. Caster, gotta stun him. Can't have him running around all Willie Nelson. Oh, I think some spiders followed me. That looked like spider stuff. Yep. Stunned. Not stunned for long. Trying to use the finger of death. Let's try it. Oops, wrong button. Okay, he saved. Lost soul, I need that. Tried to finger him, didn't work. Mana to burn, so through greater creeping cold on the archer on the right. I am here at the end fight. I want to get these breakables. Alright. Might as well pull out a summon. Give them all the buffs. Because we can. This end fight is going to be no joke. That I'm gonna run out of resources before the boss is dead. I'm worried I'm gonna get flung into some spikes. I have worries. I am concerned. Okay. Let's go fire and then back to water. So I get my mantle icy soul. When you switch to elemental forms, it gives you the mantle and the anger of the noonday sun automatically if you have elemental mastery. Frees up some slots in my spellbook. Ooh, gotta get some breakables. a spell power potion. It's just, well, plus 9 to all my spell power, but you know what? It's basically free. Do I have ransack yet? I don't know why I'm bothering, I'm just gonna die. Vandal. Well, I guess we're not getting ransack. Of course they're both champions. Oh wow, I'm tearing him up quick. A lot faster than I thought I would. Whee! Fire shield. Drop earthquake, another ice storm, sleet storm, vengeance. I'm gonna throw regenerate on myself and a heal. I think that'll do it. I think everything dies once he dies. Die, sucker! Oh, I totally could have done him on R3 if I'd gotten this far. Oh well. Well, that's that. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube, and if you have any questions about my build, you can respond to my build post in the Druid forums.